This tutorial is going to show you how to find information on companies and industries in the Mergent database. Mergent contains a wealth of information about companies, industries, and countries. To get to Mergent, you go to the Mount Portal page at my.msmc.edu and log in using your Mount username and password. As you can see, there's a link to the library webpage from the portal, so we'll click that. To get to Mergent, you go into Find Information and then Articles and Databases. Since we know the name of the database is Mergent, we're going to choose All Databases rather than go in by subject and select M for Mergent. You see Mergent listed. And this is the main search page. As you can see, it defaults to a company name search. So we're going to search for information about Microsoft. You have to spell it right. And often if there's a lot of subsidiaries and divisions of a company, it will list them and you'll have to pick from that list. Microsoft Corporation is listed here very nicely, so we can just select that. And this is the overview synopsis that you get of the company. So it has a business summary, information on the executives, pricing summary, their key financials, and just some information in general in the synopsis. There's a highlights section. They have income statement, some of the profitability ratios, and the management effectiveness, balance sheet. So there's some basic numbers here. There's information about the history of the company. Every one of these reports that you pull up can be downloaded or printed, so you can download it into Excel or PDF, however you want to look at it. There's many things under the synopsis, basic information about the business, what industry, NAI, the industry code that it's under, their property information, any subsidiaries. There doesn't seem to be much. There's the information on the Ireland subsidiary, Singapore, long-term debt, etc. There's business segments. All of this information. It's a wealth of information. There are many tabs up here that you can look at. So there's information on the executives and their compensation, some of the key officers of the company, the ownership of the company. The financials are especially useful usually for students. You can take the financials and download them into a report. So it downloads it into Excel, then you can manipulate the data, compare the data to other data that you might want to import here. So this is what it would look like in Excel. We're not going to save that. There's all sorts of information on pricing, equity pricing information. You can do it any kind of date range you want. Annual reports are very helpful a lot of times, so whatever they have to submit. There's SEC filings. Sometimes there's news about the company. So it's kind of all in one place, information about the anything you'd want to know about a company. There's not much here right now for the company news, but they'll have some headlines. There's a competitor list that you can get. So you could customize this and just have maybe the top 5 competitors, or you could export this whole list or print this whole list. However you want to create your report, you can create a customized report here, add a company to this list. So there's many different options. The report builder function is very helpful because any of these categories can be expanded, and you can pick elements that you want to put into your own report. You simply move them from side to side, highlight them, move them to the right. So if you wanted to do these elements, and then you just tell Mergent what format you want it in. You can do a nice PDF if you want to do a presentation, or you can do it in Excel or HTML, and you create a report. So if you wanted to do, let's say, the PDF report, it comes right up, and then you can use that. It's a nice presentation, or you can put it in Excel and manipulate the data. They also have company reports, which are analyses that Mergent has done. So there's summary reports about the sector or the company that you can get right in this section. So there's a rich amount of data, as you can see. You can change a company quickly and search for information on a different company. So if we wanted to find information on Pepsi, there are 2 divisions of Pepsi listed. We'll check PepsiCo and pull that up. And we have the same kind of report that we had for Microsoft. It's always in the same format, so it's very easy to translate, and you can do all the same things that we could do with Microsoft. So if we go back to search, I just want to show you a few other features that this database has that's very helpful. There's an economic research tab up here, and you can look at different categories and sectors, and there's time series that would correspond to whatever you're picking on this side. You can do date ranges, you can be very specific. So if we wanted, let's say, to look at the housing market, everything will map to this side on a graph. You can then download it into a graph or an Excel. So if we wanted to know adjustable rate mortgage in the housing market and conventional home sales, let's say, these 2 things have been mapped over here, and then you can download them, or you can print it out, however you want to do it. There is an economic time series glossary, so that explains the way that Mergent classifies everything and defines things in this tab for economic research. So you know exactly what they mean by their terms, and you know how they calculate things. So that's all in here, all the indicators that are listed. Mergent also has a rich amount of industry analysis. So it defaults to key comparisons of industries, which is very interesting. So they have year-to-date price performance, estimated growth, trailing in the net profit margin percentage, trailing, return on equity, trailing in the 4 quarters. So they've got all these different sectors that they're comparing. So they explain in each tab what kind of data they're showing, so you can choose an industry here. Let's say you chose energy, and you have a lot of rich data here. Again, you can download it or you can print it. You can do different types of charts. The styles are different, a bar chart, a pie chart, however you want to do it. The membership will explain which parties are involved in different sectors. So you can manipulate this data, export it as well, and sort it in many different ways. There are reports for industry sectors. So you can look at these and download the reports on different sectors, and they tell you how they compare them, how they compile them. And they have, again, explain the industry analysis, industry descriptions. So they explain what the basic materials industry is comprised of. So there's a lot of explanation in here. It's very easy to use. Everything is explained in the About section here, and what points they're using, what data points. I also wanted to let you know that there's a lot of country information in Mergent. So you can go into these country insight, this tab, and there's profiles of all the countries in the world, basically. They have country risk profiles, which is kind of an analysis of whether a country is stable enough to invest in, and to do business in. And then there's general country profiles, which gives you a nice overview of each country. So if you open up and expand each continent, let's say you're interested in Ghana, there are numerous years that are covered in this country risk profile, and then there's the basic country profile that you'll see just says Ghana. So if you look at Ghana 2020, they give you a coronavirus update, and there's an insight report. So it's more about the outlook of the country. How stable is the country? What's the environmental outlook? What's the market like? How do they compare to other countries? What different industries? The risks and benefits. Kind of a very thorough analysis of a country. If you look at just the country profile of Ghana, all the country profiles have the same format. So you have the economic overview, an overview of industry, security, trade, a little bit of geography, history, what the climate is like, what the people are like, the population, the governmental structure, communications and transportation and media. And then at the end, they have a list of other countries that Mergent has reports in. In order to get country profile information, you can also find it on the basic search page. So you can limit an industry to a particular country. So if you're interested in, basic materials industry in Armenia, you can put that in there, or you can select from this drop-down list. So you will have a country profile from there. As in addition, country information is listed in the industry and company information that you will pull up. So it's all kind of embedded in there. So as you can see, Mergent has a rich amount of data. It's pretty user-friendly to use, but if you have any questions or concerns, I'm happy to help. Please contact me, and I'm happy to set up an individual research appointment if you need help with your own particular research. I am going to embed a quick sheet of tips and examples of how to search Mergent. I'm going to put that document into eClass, so that will be there as a reference point as well. But please contact me with any questions you have. Take care.